Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Can we talk about Transformers?
Whoa!
That's right. Here we are. Can we talk about podcast? Getting back on the horse. Back on the podcast horse. Back on the robot podcast horse that transforms into a lamppost. We're back.
Woo!
To do another Kristen, an actual 80s cartoon classic.
Yeah, not just one that we call one to make ourselves feel better.
Hasbro property, Transformers, retroactively known as Generation 1. I am more than meets the eye. I am Joe.
I'm a robot in disguise. I'm Kristen.
And it has been a long-ass podcast break, Kristen. We're watching Transformers through Tubi.tv, which is just a place that I had never heard of, but you can watch Transformers for free there with, an ad every here and there, so...
I'll take it.
Cool.
Only slightly less convenient than Netflix, but whatever. I do have access now to Netflix, HBO, and Hulu, and, Crunchyroll. I've been all over the place as far as streaming stuff goes. Technically also Amazon Prime streaming, but I never use that because it's a pain in the butt to navigate on the PlayStation.
Well, I was going to say, I use Amazon fairly often, as well as Netflix. I don't have any of that other stuff, so, and here we are as well. I'll occasionally watch stuff on Shout Factory TV, because they do have a lot of Sentai series on there, so, streaming platforms are everywhere, so Kristen, no longer will I ask you, what have you been watching on Netflix for the past year and a half?
I never answered it sincerely anyway.
What have you been watching that was of note for the past whenever?
You'll notice I did mention Crunchyroll, so I'm watching a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, Joe. No one else would agree to watch it with me. You wouldn't do it for the podcast. My one friend from college was watching it, so I was like, I'll sit down and watch some Yu-Gi-Oh, and I've been enjoying it so far. What
a blast from the paste. Are you in, I'm assuming, Battle City?
Nope.
Duelist Kingdom still then, probably.
Yes, I am very firmly still comfortably in Duelist Kingdom. I just got past. I'm watching in Japanese, so Jonochi and Mai. That was the last duel that I saw.
The famous putting your hand on the top of your deck to forfeit.
I wasn't paying attention during that.
Great, cool.
I was talking to Madeline. I was like, I don't need to pay attention. I know how this ends. So that's why it's fun to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Because have we ever discussed that we were pretty deep into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime for a bit there?
Yeah. It was, Kristen, it was the belle of the ball of the early 2000s, so...
I mean, you spent more money on it than I ever did, so I feel like...
I spent an amount of money that I'm not comfortable disclosing on Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Luckily, like many things for me, it was something that I tried, wasn't very good at, so I quit. Therefore, I saved myself a lot of money.
You know what's nice about Pokemon, Kristen? It's free. Pokemon Showdown is free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're doing great now. You learned from your past mistakes.
Well, Kristen, as this is the first episode of a new series, we gotta start at the beginning. I gotta ask a very important question of you.
Yes.
Do you know what Transformers is?
I grew up with you, so yes.
Are you aware of the pop culture phrases or images that might be associated with the series? Sounds, perhaps, even.
Gook gook. What was that?
That's a pretty accurate representation. So, the thing is, Kristen, Transformers has had a much larger cultural impact than Gem.
No one knows what the fuck Gem is.
But we're here to find out, how did it get to this point where you got Bumblebee came out last year and, Christmassy time and was lovely. And
I heard that was good, yeah. I've never seen any of the Transformers movies, I guess besides the actual one from the 80s.
It took 11 years for them to make good 3D Transformers designs.
Yay!
Alright, so we're going to give a nice truncated history here. If there's more you want to learn about Transformers, I'm going to plug real quick. There's a YouTube series called Transformers The Basics by one Chris McFeely. It goes into a lot more detail than I'm going to here, so let's get truncated. Let's get really truncatory here.
I'm ready.
So, Kristen, after Hasbro was having quite a bit of success in 1983 with their resurgence of G.I. Joe with the Real American Hero line, G.I. Joe going from a 12-inch dude with kung fu grip to 3.7-inch cartoon characters.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for already answering the question that I was going to ask, which was Transformers before or after G.I. Joe?
Aha.
Totally makes sense that it would be after. Let's do the propaganda thing first, and then go into Weird Alien Robots.
The 80s were a different time, Kristen.
They were a time.
So, Hasbro's looking around. What else can we use that'll sell like gangbusters? And they look over across the shores, across several...
So I was gonna say, they look across the street and they see a semi-truck. And they're like, wait a minute, what if that was a robot?
Just so happens there's a Takara slapped on a semi-truck, and Japanese company Takara, who was having quite a bit of success with two separate lines that make up the 1984 and 1985 class of Transformers, their Diaclone line.
Diaclone sounds like a diet drink that is also half bleach, so you die when you drink it.
It's got a fun commercials. All of the Diaclone commercials have like stop motion stuff in them. With all the toys, and it's got a jingle that's Diaclone.
Exactly like that?
Exactly like that, yes.
I don't see the appeal.
They've got that, and they've got the Microman, which, Kristen, we can get into a whole fucking separate thing about Microman, but we're not
I've never
going...
even heard of that.
And now, among that, a subline of Microman became this Micro Change series, which had robots that could transform into everyday items, such as a microcassette player or a gun!
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
Are you talking about how you watched The Toys That Made Us and how they go all into this on Netflix? Speaking of Toys That Made Us on Netflix, Transformers episode, very informative.
Well, no, I was more referring to the fact that the Transformers also turn into microcassette players and guns.
Hasbro decided these toys would be good for the Western market, and they brought it over. It was the job of Marvel Comics writers, much like how we say that there's, throughout GEM there were stock writers for Hasbro and Marvel. They got a few of those people to kind of write the lore of Transformers, and I don't want to say Bob Budiansky is the Christy Marx of this series, because as we saw in GEM, Christy Marx wrote about half of the episodes of the series. I don't think that's not necessarily the case with Transformers.
Things might have been different if GEM ended up having as many seasons as Transformers.
Basically, Bob Budiansky laid the groundwork, and then it was up to everybody else to kind of hopefully wrangle everything together, and we'll see how that was, because, Kristen, the difference with this as well, we had both watched GEM before podcasting about it. I am a fan of Transformers, but I've never watched very much of the Generation 1 cartoon, and you're not a fan of Transformers, so you haven't.
I'm not like an anti-fan or anything.
No.
It's just...
It's a thing that exists.
Yeah, the most thing I remember is when we were growing up being aware of whatever Transformers cartoons were on at the time, but even then we were Power Rangers kids.
Yeah, because Beast Wars and Power Rangers would have been around the same time. I did like Beast Wars in retrospect.
I remember very little of that because it reminded me of Power Rangers.
Beast Wars did?
Yeah, because robots that looking like animals.
Well, fair enough. That makes sense. So...
But then we very quickly swerved into Pokemon, so whatever. Yeah,
that came about and crushed everything. So, much like G.I. Joe as well, they had a few animated miniseries, and this technically is an animated... It's, part of Season 1 of Transformers, but it's the 3-part animated series, More Than Meets the Eye, which is going to introduce us to 20-plus characters in 70 minutes, and I want to...
Joe, when we were diving back into the podcast and doing Transformers, there was a moment where we realized that perhaps the worst part of this, or best, depending, would be me attempting to remember the names of all of these fucking characters.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, because I can name the 1984 Autobots like the fucking back of my hand, and the 1984 Decepticons like the back of a fucking fingernail, because there's 5 of them.
Yeah, but... I'm not feeling mega confident, but we'll see what comes out of my mouth.
Well, as long as if you come up with doofy names for them, I'm all for it. So
okay, we'll see which of them stick.
I think it's time we transform, Kristen, and start the podcast.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
You could have put a little bit more thought into that transition, but...
Well, Kristen, that's the weird thing. The first thing I noticed about these 3 parts here, transform and roll out, is something that Optimus Prime says, but not in these episodes.
No, I noticed that too, because I was waiting for him to say it, and he didn't.
There was a lot of Transformers, accelerate.
Go!
Transformers, go.
We're going to talk about this more in the actual episodes. Optimus is kind of a dick in these 3 episodes.
Transform and riggedy roll. So, Kristen, we start off. It's the music. The music is the first thing you hear. fucking sweet guitar licks, the Transformers.
It's really short.
I don't want to make a lot of comparisons to Gem, but I feel like we're going to.
Yeah, I miss the Gem theme. It's weird because it's like, this is shorter, so like good, because I don't like it as much, but at the same time, I'm like, where is my lady vocalist?
I think it's a very haphazard theme song, because it starts off as just
Are you saying they didn't try, Joe?
I'm not saying they didn't try. I'm saying that after the last, Transformers, Robots in Disguise, it jump cuts very quickly to BAM! To end the theme song.
Yeah, it seems like there was probably a longer version and they realized, wait a minute, we gotta squish this down a little.
It changes in season 2, I think, to be more concise, season 2 or 3. So, for now, we're gonna have to spend 13, 14 podcast episodes dealing with this guitar lick version.
Whatever.
It has all of the classic Transformers things in it that you know about More Than Meets the Eye, Robots in Disguise, as well as...
They tell you what you gotta know.
As well as, yes, Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons, which may as well be We're the Misfits. Our songs are better.
Thank you, opening song. I understand completely.
And the visuals aren't terribly interesting either. It's a lot of Autobots and Decepticons shooting lasers. And I wrote in my notes a lot, Kristen. I'm going to say 4 or 5 times, just in all capital letters, robot fight, just so I didn't have to write notes about what was going on.
I mean, you really don't need any more adjectives there. Like, I'm wondering how fast we're going to end up going through all this, for how much of it is just people fight and then it's over.
The only thing that I noted were animation errors, or, if somebody got punched in a really stupid way, so...
It was pretty good. I saw a lot of robots die in these 3 episodes, which was pretty traumatic for me as a 7-year-old boy.
There's also more laser sounds per second in this than anything else in history ever.
Better than go, go.
More Than Meets the Eye. All 3 parts written by George Arthur Bloom, who, Kristen, if you remember, wrote Dance Time.
I didn't remember that. That explains all the similarities to Dance Time.
It explains a lot of robots getting so hurt that they can't transform anymore. Dance getting so hurt that she can't dance anymore.
It also explains a lot of the robots' piss-poor attitudes.
So we start off, Kristen, we got some lore here. Long time ago on a planet far, far away.
I gotta hand it to them with all the exposition they put in. They clearly thought about this very hard a lot, to the point where I feel like they might have explained things that really didn't need to be explained. Like, there wasn't ever a point where I was like, wait a minute, explain the logic here, cartoon. It's robot aliens! It's not like Gem, it doesn't take place in a normal world, so I don't have questions.
We see Cybertron, the home planet of the Transformers, but is also the god of their series, but that won't happen for another 20 years.
Yeah, there was some stuff that I knew from later down the street in the lore that got me really confused trying to listen to all this, but again, I'm like, I'll just start over and say yes to whatever they're telling me.
It is explained to us that there are Autobots and Decepticons, they're at war, and this war has drained the planet of basically all of its resources and energy.
It's like there's kind of an environmentalist message happening in Transformers, but also kind of not really. We're gonna get to that more a little bit later, when it's like, Megatron's trying to steal all the resources. We need to stop him, because then he'll be able to get back to Cybertron. Not because it's mean to steal resources from this planet you're not from.
We also get, of course, the dichotomy, Kristen, Autobot good, Decepticon bad, which is as deep as it gets.
They are called Decepticons.
One thing I also noted here, it occurs to me that there might be less room for us to make up dumb shit because the series has had 35 years to work on its lore.
Whatever!
So the very first Transformer we see on screen, barring the intro or whatever, which I think it might be the Jets are the first that we see. The first one is Wheeljack. So, Kristen, tell me about Wheeljack.
He's one of the Italian ones. He's from Boston. And he's getting too old for this shit, bada bing!
One thing to note, Kristen, on Wheeljack's toy, he transforms into some kind of sports rally car or whatever. He does have an advertisement for Alitalia on it, which is, of course, the Italian airline.
Hey, what'd I say?
I don't think the connection is that, though, so...
Hey. Here's the other thing I can tell you about Wheeljack, and this is the first time I had this problem over many times in these 3 episodes. Joe, when they transform and the scale changes significantly, I think I almost puked.
A lot of that problem, because we have Bumblebee here too. And admittedly, Bumblebee himself later says in these episodes he is the smallest of the Transformers.
Small.
He's a tiny guy, woo!
So there's definitely times where next to the people, I could see when it was the smaller Transformers versus the bigger Transformers. I do not think they do a good enough job showing the scale of the Transformers next to each other all of the time.
No, they do not. And we get into this problem with Rumble. We get into this problem with when when we're putting Transformers in the back of other Transformers.
Yes, that was a big problem I had, but...
So Bumblebee is awfully happy-go-lucky for this fucking energy crisis that they got going on, because they are out scouting for dampening rods. I don't even remember what the fuck they're getting.
Yeah, they looked like fluorescent light tubes. Is that in the 80s? What does energy look like?
Glowing.
And they looked up at the ceiling in the office. Like that.
Bumblebee's very clearly the rookie here as well, because we get a few lines with him later on of him just like, Prime told me there would be days like this.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes, please.
And I have several points in my notes where I wrote, Joe, I got a question. Are Transformers born?
So, they don't really get into this in the Generation 1 cartoon, really. They get into it a bit more in Beast Wars, where there's a spark, which is a soul, basically, and there's protoforms.
Like the All-Spark.
Like the All-Spark. And there's protoforms, which are basically blank canvases, and depending on the spark and the protoform and whatever you scan to become, like, your alternate mode... That's essentially how... Because we'll see as well, I shouldn't say that it's not touched on in Generation 1, because Wheeljack, spoiler alert, Krista, Wheeljack builds the Dinobots.
Whoa! Wheeljack is God!
Wheeljack plays God.
Wow! That's crazy.
Most of the time, Transformers just show up, though.
I'm here too now.
That we're gonna get that a lot. It's gonna be a spotlight episode for someone we've never seen before, and they're just on Earth.
Here's another question. How do you spell Iacon?
Iacon is Iacon.
Oh, that's how I spelled it too, but with a hyphen.
Ah.
Is that ever brought up again?
The Autobot city of... Maybe? I don't know. Iacon is a famous Transformers city.
Oh, I assumed it was somewhere away from Cybertron. I assumed that they were chased out of Cybertron entirely, but instead it's rather they have a stronghold now.
I believe Iacon is either the last Autobot city or something like that. Again, these are one of those things where there's a lot of lore there, but they, it took us probably about 20 years to get there.
Yeah, I'm glad I have you to bounce questions off of at least.
So they need to head back to Iacon here. Wheeljack transforms into the hovercraft from the end of Rumble in the Bronx, and
cool.
Bumblebee hangs out inside his ass.
Yeah!
Kristen,
I love it!
I wrote in my notes, is the trunk of a car its ass?
I mean, it has to be, right?
Because there's a lot. There's a lot of notes that I just put. They put him in X's ass.
I love it.
So as they get close to Autobot City, they're stopped at the bridge where some Decepticon jets are hanging out. Which
show me your fucking papers. What?
Krista, we have a problem here, which this comes up a few times in these episodes. There are the Decepticon jets, the Seekers, as they are sometimes called. You got Starscream, you got Thundercracker, and you got Skywarp. You've also got 100 other jets colored either exactly like them or different to them.
And Joe, here's another issue I had.
Yes.
Why do they turn into jets at all if it seems like every Transformer can fly just by stretching his arms out?
This is a problem that, thankfully, the Autobots don't possess the ability to fly after these episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, thank God. I am so glad to hear that. See, it's okay to just correct your mistakes midway through sometimes.
So, but the Decepticon jets can fly, and I guess just for ease of access, Megatron and Soundwave can still fly.
Sure. Because Megatron would not put up with being put inside Starscream's ass.
No. I don't think
He's not into that.
Even though Megatron would be awfully tiny, he would be able to fit in any Transformer's ass.
It's so easy to put him up your ass.
Same thing for Soundwave, actually.
Just guns and cassette tapes up the butts.
So, yeah, because the first thing I noted was, oh, Starscream's here. And then he speaks in a voice that's not Chris Latta. And I'm like, oh, this is a person that's not Starscream.
See, so chase ensues here because they disguise themselves like 10 minutes too late. And I was wondering, like, is this like a cold open where I wrote Wheeljack and What's His Nuts die to serve the story? But then I realized it was Bumblebee, and I was like, oh no, Bumblebee is the main character.
They get caught in a burning ring of fire here as the jets trap them, and Bumblebee transforms into his car, which would take up like 5 lanes because of its wingspan.
Beep beep!
Wheeljack and Bumblebee just drive through the jets at some point, because it's just, Bumblebee got out, tried firing his laser a few times, it's like, well, let's just fucking, whatever, let's drive through them.
We don't have a time for this Star Wars laser fight sequence.
Bumblebee gets blown the fuck out as they're running away, and only survives because, here we are, yes, he drives into Wheeljack's ass.
Woo!
And Bumblebee says he blew out his rear axle. So, alright, here's another thing that we're gonna...
my dick fell off!
We're gonna see a lot of these things here, Kristen, where there's a lot of car parts referred to like they are body parts. And
I know, it's so dumb.
And it leaves me wondering so often. Bumblebee blew out his rear axle. He blew out his ass.
My ass fell off.
Wheeljack says to hold on to your crankshaft, which I'm pretty sure is a euphemism for a dick.
Keep your dick on. Ay.
So they managed to get away, and here we are with the transition jingle that's also fairly popular from Transformers.
So we transition to basically the same exact thing, except from someone else's perspective, which I don't think you need a transition for.
Kristen, we see Soundwave here, transformed,
Uh-huh.
and he's a fucking lamppost!
Yep. Good thing he gets an upgrade later.
He does get an upgrade. He's still got Laserbeak, who's also a weird robot bird. I don't know why a lamppost would need cassettes. I'm not about to fucking look into Cybertron and I don't know.
They
Whatever,
need
dude.
cassettes for the fun wah, 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 wah music that they play. For the cars and shit. I don't know.
Soundwave is Frank Welker with a synthesizer voice under him, and he sounds really neat, and I like him.
He's also talking his plans out loud.
Yes, he says Laserbeak eject operation, information gathering, spying, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Joe, here's another thing. I thought Laserbeak was a good guy.
The thing is, Kristen, you're remembering from Transformers Armada, there was the orange
Oh,
yellow.
of course.
The orange yellow camera bird that used
We had
the name.
that.
Yes, that used the name Laserbeak because Hasbro needs to hold on to trademarks any way possible.
Okay, I learned very quickly, oh no, he's an evil cassette.
Otherwise, they lose them because then you end up with. So there's an Autobot called Grapple, and they don't have. They released a new toy of Grapple, but they couldn't call him Grapple because they don't have the rights to Grapple anymore. So they called him Solar Storm Grappel, Grappel.
That's pretty good.
Or a lot of times you'll get things like Autobot Jazz, like they can do that.
That's what happens when all your character names are just noun.
Laserbeak is spying on the Autobots here, and we see Optimus and Jazz.
Lots of spying in these 3 episodes.
There's a lot of... They talked about on, I believe, one of the Homestar Runner DVDs about Cheat Commandos, where the Cheat Commandos or Blue Laser just had cameras that were in the enemy's base so they knew what they were doing at all times.
That is kind of basically how it works.
That is almost what happens in all of these episodes, yes. Mm-hmm. Soundwave just flies away at this point, getting the information that he needs because Optimus and company are about to leave Cybertron to look for more energy. Mm-hmm. So Kristen, enter Megatron.
Yeah. I hate his diaper.
I never noticed it. Oh, God.
He's got a diaper on.
Starscream is standing sassily beside him as well.
Mm-hmm. Is now when I mention that I'm a Starscream fucker? I love that guy.
And in these episodes, Starscream hits the same beat over and over and over again, and it's hilarious every time.
He sucks so much. It's hilarious.
Also, we meet here Shockwave, who is just hanging out up in the fucking crow's nest of the base as a laser gun. And Shockwave is a guy who's got one eye, and it blinks when he talks.
I love it.
And basically all his job is in these 3 episodes is, hey Shockwave, you're in charge of Cybertron while we leave. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Goodbye. I'm Corey Burton. Okay, great.
One of my favorite things about all of the Transformer designs are the workarounds with trying to give them different faces when their faces are just a bunch of shapes, really. So we have the Transformers with the face plates.
Yes, like Optimus and Wheeljack
and it just kind of wiggles when he talks. Which I don't know why. Are there lips under there?
Kristen, I believe with the masterpiece Optimus Prime that I have, who has a wiggly mouth plate if you press the button on his head, if you take that off, I believe there are lips underneath, which are gross.
Ooh.
Which I believe is the earliest thing I could think of that I've ever seen referred to as a cursed image.
Yeah, how detailed are they?
I never looked at them because I don't want to take the mouth plate off.
I really feel like, and maybe this is disgusting, there's a point where you have like plastic molded lips where if you put too much detail in them, they look like dick sucking lips.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, Joe.
There's a few Sentai costumes that are like that. I'm not going to lie.
You have too much of a Cupid's bow and it starts to look a little bit too sexy.
Also, as well, for mouth plates, Wheeljack has one and his ears light up when he talks, too.
That's dumb!
I love it. It's great.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Megatron says the Autobots are ready to give up, and the very first words out of Starscream's mouth, Kristen.
I would have won the war years ago if it wasn't for you. If I were in charge. If I were the boss man.
If the Decepticons were my dad, things would be different around here.
We be running free and easy. Ain't no problem. He's getting Italian.
My time will come, Megatron.
So here's the one problem I have. I do think I hate Megatron's voice.
Megatron is Frank Welker, who is classic voice actor man, who does a lot of voices in this series here, including Ravage as well, so he makes a lot of growly. Anytime there's an animal, really, in any sort of media.
That makes sense.
Kristen, I was watching Hercules yesterday. Frank Welker voices Pegasus in Hercules.
Interesting.
He does animal noises a lot of the time, but occasionally will be this weird, raspy asshole Megatron.
How'd you like Hercules?
I love Hercules, Kristen. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, wow.
I've seen it 100 times. It was just, I needed something to watch yesterday, so I'm like, I'm going to watch Hercules again.
Now, a lot of people are kind of lukewarm on it, so I wanted to check. You're a big fan of the Danny DeVito song, I'm sure.
I remember as it was happening, I was like, why is Danny DeVito singing a song?
When I was just in Anime Boston a few weeks ago, and we were watching the winners of the AMV contest, and someone did do an AMV with Danny DeVito's song from Hercules.
How about that?
I leaned over to my friend and I was like, is this Danny DeVito's song from Hercules? And they went, I think so.
It's a small world after all.
And it sure is.
So we get another transition here. The shuttle, the Ark, launches here. The Autobot ship with the Decepticons following in their ship.
Oh no! I missed a note.
Oh, what was your note that you missed?
It was when Starscream and Megatron were fighting and I wrote the sexual tension here is unreal. I went back because I did have, for the Autobots trying to get away kind of secretly, I wrote, wow, nice giant gold spaceship.
It does. It looks like a Necco wafer.
Super easy to sneak on by in that.
Wait a minute, a Nilla wafer. A Necco wafer's a different thing.
Yes, it is. It does kind of look like a Nilla wafer, though. I wasn't even paying attention when you got it wrong the first time.
As they're leaving, of course, because this is a cartoon, two gigantic fucking asteroids hit each other in...
Yeah! So I wrote Deus Ex Asteroid, and I thought that it was like Megatron's plan to stop them or something, but nah, it was just asteroids.
I don't even know if that was part of Megatron's... The asteroid just showed up. It was a force of nature.
Yeah, it seems like definitely it was just an act of God. An act of Wheeljack.
The Autobots use a big fuck huge laser to clear a path through the asteroids here. And the Decepticons kind of fly in their trails behind them, to which Prowler's like, oh, wait a minute, we got company.
Yeah, Megatron yells and he sounds like he has food stuck in his throat.
He does.
When they're going through the meteor shower, I noticed from his, command post, Optimus appeared to be steering, which made me question what the fuck everyone else is doing then.
See, alright, they make it fairly clear throughout these episodes. Soundwave is the one driving the Decepticon ship.
Okay.
I think Jazz might be driving the Autobot ship? I don't know.
I know, it seems like Optimus' little steering thing pops up from where his feet are, and he, goes...
So maybe he just, at any point, is just like, no, I'm flying this thing now, fuck it.
Yeah, it's like a driver's instructor's car where they have a brake, except he has the whole wheel.
So the Decepticons fly up on the Autobot ship here, which, because they use the laser to clear the asteroids, they don't have any sort of defense anymore here. And we see the first animation error of the series. Kristen, I'd like to know if you noticed this. It's fairly obvious. As the Decepticons, use their fucking boarding bridge or whatever, the Autobots are all getting into position, all right, time to fight them when they come in. And then the same shot plays exactly again, in the shot where the Decepticons should be entering the ship. So it's just Optimus pointing at the camera panning to the right, Optimus pointing at a door, followed by the camera panning to the right and Optimus pointing at a door, and then the Autobots and Decepticons are all fighting each other.
So I only noticed one animation error in this whole thing, so... I didn't see that, though, with the pointing, that is when Optimus was, again, I always thought of him as kind of being a more, chill, level-headed leader, where he is prepare for battle, and I was like, can you, chill it for the rest of the crew, please? Calm down a little bit. You can't be having a meltdown.
You gotta be a calm leader. Let Ironhide be the guy who's just like, yeah, let's kick ass, let's go!
Yeah, I feel like he needs to be a little bit more Mufasa-like.
A little bit more in line with his voice actor, Peter Cullen, a little more Eeyore-like, perhaps.
Well, no, then he would just roll over and die.
And he's just a fucking sad sack.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very helpful. But yeah, he really has a fucking meltdown a few times, and it's not attractive.
The robots all fight, as they do. Somebody gets knocked into the controls, and it starts sending both ships into a fucking spiral. I don't know if they mentioned, Kristen, how far Cybertron is away from Earth, but they get to Earth fairly quickly.
Yeah, so I was confused because that all happened very quickly. I did also at some point say, listen, there may not be any girl bands in this, but I gotta admit this is a lot more exciting than the first episode of Gem. I think I just saw 10 robots die. But when they finally are on Earth, I also forgot Earth was a thing in Transformers.
Yes, the first 2 seasons take place exclusively on Earth, almost.
Once I remembered, I was like, duh, of course. But then they were like, yeah, it was 4 million years. I was like, excuse me, how many? For what?
So, as we'll find, yes, it's 4 million years in the future here. And Kristen, I watched ahead. I watched Transport to Oblivion, the episode after this, which, spoiler alert, Shockwave shows back up, and he's just all the same. The fucking purple gun man.
The guy they left in charge.
The guy they left in charge on Cybertron.
I was wondering, at some point in my notes I did write, so 4 million years later, up on Cybertron, they're like, wait a minute. Where'd everyone go?
The weird thing is, everything is almost exactly the same on Cybertron, apparently, after 4 million years.
Passes differently there.
Maybe. That's true. Maybe they get... I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about it.
It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon. 4 million years pass here, and the only thing that wakes up all of the Transformers is fucking not Mount St. Helens. It's some other volcano in Washington that I thought was Mount St. Helens.
Is that where this takes place? Washington?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. I had that question later, because it sure just looks like they're in the Grand Canyon 10 times.
The volcano blows up a bit, which knocks Skywarp into an area where, I guess is just they have a repair bay in the middle of the floor.
Sure. They has to go somewhere.
So some kind of probe flies out. It repairs Skywarp, to which he realizes, oh fuck, I need to repair all my other Decepticon brethren here. All the Decepticons they're good. They're good. Yeah. They fucking fly out onto a mountaintop, and Megatron just crosses his arms and goes, much time has passed. We're on a planet far from Cybertron.
That sounded a little bit like Vegeta.
Boy, wouldn't this be different if Megatron were Vegeta?
You know who would be Vegeta?
Starscream.
Yeah, my boys.
So, Skywarp then asks the logical question here. Megatron, do we know Cybertron still exists at this point?
Duh, of course it does.
Okay.
And we just assume that that's correct. And they're right.
They decide that they're going to steal resources from Earth to get back to Cybertron here.
And in the middle of coming up with a plan, Starscream is just like, Pachoo! Pachoo! Fuck you, Autobots!
He fires a laser at either the Ark or like a mountain or something, and Megatron... A lot of things are caused by Starscream just willy-nilly firing his laser at people in these episodes.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah, Megatron basically backhands him like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, there's no point, just stop it. And he's like, I'm just saying goodbye. So they start to walk away, and Starscream keeps pew 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 firing, and he breaks a cliff that knocks into the Ark, and I guess jostles everyone awake.
Yeah, jostles Optimus over into the repair bay area now, and we get one of my favorite parts of these episodes just from how weird and awkward it is. Mm-hmm. Optimus becomes his red 18-wheeler, his normal thing. His trailer disappears when he transforms, so Kristen, now that I have mentioned every time Optimus transforms, his trailer appears and disappears, you're going to notice it every time.
No, I knew already. I hate it.
And then Optimus just gives a thumbs up and goes, thanks, and then who is he thanking?
I don't know, but I wrote about that too. It cuts him off so fast.
So the Decepticons just go over to some rocks, and Megatron's like, that's going to be our base right there.
What is?
Starscream, you're in charge of building the base. And Starscream's like, with what? The fuck are you talking about?
Figure it out.
Soundwave brings out Rumble here. And Kristen, Rumble is blue. Rumble's toy was red. And there's also a counterpart to Rumble called Frenzy, who is colored red, and his toy was blue.
That's not confusing at all.
This has caused a debate which has raged on for years as to what the proper color of Rumble and or Frenzy should be.
It's like Schrodinger's cat.
It's a really boring fandom argument.
I mean, they gotta argue about something, don't they?
So, there's a power plant about 10 feet away. Starscream's like, where should we go? Where should we go for materials? And Soundwave is like, how about over there? And it's just a fucking power plant right there.
So, they build a weird metal sandcastle.
Transition over to Optimus, who is lecturing the newly revived Autobots here. We gotta find out what the Decepticons are up to and stop them from doing anything. I don't know why I wrote doing anything fun in my notes.
Yeah,
we gotta
fun
be the
police Optimus Prime.
So he sends out Hound and Casey Kasem to scout here. Cliffjumper being Casey Kasem, of course.
I didn't notice that was Casey Kasem at all. I knew that he was on the show because you had mentioned it before.
Yes, Casey Kasem voices Cliffjumper, and I believe he voices Blue Streak later. But Blue Streak says 3 lines, so Cliffjumper's
Cool, I don't know who Hound or Cliffjumper are.
Hound is the Jeep, and Cliffjumper is Red Bumblebee.
Cool, we'll see how long that information stays in my head.
So Cliffjumper threatens to kick a Decepticon in the dick, or whatever their turbocharger might be. Solar plexus, maybe?
Nice kick to the throat.
Your turbocharger, because it charges your vocal cords.
Yeah. It makes total sense, don't worry about it.
We horizontal wipe to Starscream and company, where Starscream is talking specifically to Rumble, being like, just you wait, Rumble, I'll be in charge one of these days.
Like, fucking whatever, dude.
And Rumble is like, I answered a Soundwave, you motherfucker, what are you talking about? Do you have a cassette port in your fucking jet, you idiot?
I will someday.
After all of this, basically, they have the conversation. Rumble, for some reason, offers, Megatron's pretty strong, Starscream. I don't think you'll be able to beat him. He doesn't have a weakness, and
Starscream is like, the fuck he doesn't.
Now get on your pile drivers and shit and go pile drive some shit. And so even after all of that conversation of Rumble saying he's not going to take orders from Starscream, he takes orders from Starscream and starts rumbling shit.
He put Starscream in charge of making the base. He is in charge for right now. In charge of the menial task of build us a home.
We cut back to Hound and Cliffjumper making some small talk here.
I love that you call him CJ in your notes. That is a much better name for a Transformer.
I start doing that a lot because I'm like, why am I writing Bumblebee? Why am I writing Sparkplug so many times?
Oh, get used to it, my friend.
They come up on a hill and see the Decepticon base here. Hound brings out his little antenna, so we see that a lot of the Transformers have little things that help out with either reconnaissance or very specific situations. Hound himself has a radar dish in his arm and a hologram projector.
Yeah, I'm really grateful because I feel like there's enough characters that I won't notice if somebody suddenly, who hadn't before, has a satellite coming out of their armpit. So it won't make me as angry.
So we hear Megatron's grandiose plan of stealing resources. The energy of this world can be turned into Energon cubes, which they're going to load onto their new spaceship that Soundwave just has the schematics for.
Yes. I understand completely.
Cliffjumper takes out a big fuck you gun here and is just like, I got Megatron right in my sights, Scoob.
I did put down, this show is really only going to encourage our habit of doing bad accents. Thank God so far no one sounds like Jeddah.
I'm trying to think if there's a British Transformer. That'd be weird. Why would a Transformer have an Italian-American accent, though?
Yeah, why do they speak English, Joe?
Fuck, it's a cartoon, oh no.
Uh-huh. Don't ask questions.
He fires at Megatron and misses here, like a dumbass.
Right in your sights, as in 10 feet over his shoulder.
Laserbeak is sent out here after the Autobots, and they run away. Megatron's like, whoa, who the fuck is shooting at me? What happened? Why are the Autobots awake all of a sudden?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who does he think is shooting at him?
So they go off in different directions here because Laserbeak can't follow both of them, but Laserbeak shoots off a laser from his dick or whatever that follows Cliffjumper.
And it hits him. No, he destroys the laser.
He destroys it, but Laserbeak hits Hound,
That's
because of this weird mountainous Washington terrain,
the Grand Canyon,
falls off into the Grand Canyon, yes.
I did write Death and Destruction, Fashion and Flame.
I love it. Cliffjumper shows up with Ratchet here. Ratchet is an ambulance man who...
And this is where my notes... I'm having some huge issues with the scale changes when people transform.
We get into this problem that doesn't show up, I don't think, fairly often, where the Transformers... A lot of the Transformers get so fucked that they can't transform.
I was not aware that this was a thing.
That's the thing. I don't know how often it comes back up again, but Hound has it happen. Ironhide, it happens to him. Optimus, we have an extended 45-second sequence.
Yeah, of him going...
of him making poop noises and just...
Uh-huh.
Cliffjumper's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have fired at Megatron. And Hound goes, yeah, you shouldn't have missed.
Hey. So they're all hilarious and I hate it. The quips I have a big fucking problem with.
But we see Hauler here, who's a guy with a crane. Kristen, Hauler is a Transformer that doesn't exist.
Oh, cool. I didn't even remember him.
This is the only time that, well, he doesn't transform. He's just a crane, and he's only in these shots. And like I said, there's a character called Grapple who's a crane, but he shows up in season 2. We see Thundercracker here, who is the Blue Scream, if you will, hanging out with Reflector, who is a group of 3 robots who also have the Starscream voice, who all talk at exactly the same time.
Oh my god, I love them.
And they transform into a camera.
So, yeah, it's a camera.
It's a camera that looks like a
safari camera.
A safari camera? Well, I was going to say, it has Polaroid functions.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like a Polaroid camera.
Are they huge Polaroids?
That's true. So, again, scale issues that we're kind of talking about here. He transforms into a camera that's big enough for Thundercracker, but would be gigantic in the hands of a normal human then.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested. They have my attention. Maybe not for the reasons they intended, but they have it.
Thundercracker informs Soundwave about a truck that is driving over towards the destroyed power plant here. Kristen, there are a lot of people in these episodes. I thought, and I've seen these episodes before, I was like, oh yeah, here's where Sparkplug and Spike are. No, there's different people in hard hats.
Oh, they weren't there?
No, these are just 2 people in hard hats that Soundwave sends Ravage after, and here is, yes, where we see Robopanther attacking these people who just run away, and we don't see them again.
Yeah, I did right. I am loving how safe all these people are in their hard hats. They are very safe.
We go to 3 separate places where the general uniform is big yellow boots and hard hats.
Incredibly safe.
We get another transition back here. Hound relays Megatron's plan to Optimus, and they're going to put a battle unit together. So, Kristen, Jazz does a roll call here, and do you remember any of the names that he throws out?
Bumblebee.
No.
What? Wheeljack?
Yes.
Is there someone named Jet?
Kristen, that's a song by Paul McCartney and Wings.
It's also the band that did Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Very true. That is also correct.
Sideswipe?
Sideswipe is one of them, yes.
I remember him because that sounds like a bad name because it implies a crash happened.
I wrote it down so I can bail you out on this one. How about I give you the name and you give me what car they are?
Rumble.
Rumble is a Decepticon.
Damn it!
All right,
I'm out.
How about Prowl? Do you know what Prowl is?
A dog. And Optimus Prime is an 18-wheeler. You're welcome.
Everyone transforms and rolls out here, but Optimus does not say that. So we get a weird thing. Laserbeak returns to the partially completed base. He found some energy at an oil rig.
Yeah, okay, great. I think I wrote something very similar to that in my notes, too. Just an oil rig.
At the oil rig here, we meet Sparkplug and Spike, the two of the major human characters here.
So at some point I did write, I'm sorry, his name is Bike?
Close. Spike.
I kind of heard it. Also, it was in episode 3 that I suddenly realized Sparkplug was not the name of a Transformer. I was like, oh, that's a guy.
The Decepticons fly in here. The humans try to attack them with rocks and stuff, but Megatron throws a pipe at them, which sends
very brave of them.
Sends most of them. I mean, they're on an oil rig, Kristen. They can't just be like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
That's true. They didn't really have any options. But yeah, they all go tumbling off, and it's pretty violent. They were all dead.
Rumble comes out here and he goes to pick on somebody his own size, going after Sparkplug, which, again, if you remember in the second episode, Kristen, Rumble and Hound fight each other and they're roughly the same size.
Yep, sounds great.
Spike goes to defend the honor of his dad here and is knocked into the ocean too. Sparkplug breaks free, jumps into the ocean. We get one of the, 5 times Megatron goes, Starscream, activate the Null Ray!
I'm kind of, it's comforting to have this, process of, okay, the evil thing is happening now. I don't know, like Sailor Moon when it would be and now steal this person's soul. And they do their whole thing where they activate and turn them into a monster. It's, oh, now the stuff is happening. This is familiar.
Starscream fires off the Null Ray, which freezes stuff? Suspends animation on stuff, I guess. I mean, Null Ray would imply that it turns it to a state of null.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Soundwave makes a lightsaber noise.
Pew.
as he makes energon cubes.
I'm a fan of this animation. I'm a fan of watching the cubes fill up with stuff, and I'm a fan of watching them get squashed by a bunch of generic dudes and turning all shiny.
Yes, it's basically they fill them with oil or just energy or something.
Or rubies.
Because they use, yes, rubies and electricity, respectively, also.
Yep.
Once there's like 3 or 4 on top of each other, Skywarp just kind of pushes them down, and they become a glowy cube.
Yep, it's great. So Starscream is like, nice, we can go back home now. And Megatron's like, fuck no, you idiot. Do you even know how to count?
The Autobots show up at this point. They rolled out. They were cars. And then here they all show up as robots flying in.
It looks great.
Megatron finally transforms here, and he is a fucking gun, Kristen.
Yay! I don't know why he trusts Starscream to shoot him. If I were Starscream, I would just break him over my knee.
Megatron has a lot of destructive force in him. We see that basically Megatron, it is weird that the leader of the Decepticons will often entrust his cronies to use his amazing power to try and kill the Autobots when more often than not they fuck up completely.
Yeah, so there's a pattern emerging. I would like to make a note. When I was watching this episode, our cat Benny hated the noise of the Megatron gun being shot. He was like, what was that?
It's a pretty generic laser noise, though, isn't it?
I wonder if it was, like, mixed weird, that it was, like, too much of a pew, and he was
wait,
like,
you know what?
No,
I forgot. Megatron's gun makes a really stupid noise when it fires.
Oh, okay, that would probably do it then.
Basically, there's a robot fight here. Rumble is also suddenly normal size fighting Wheeljack up on a fucking stone bridge somewhere.
Nothing to see here.
They get all the energon cubes and fly away, which is a pretty common... In all 3 of these episodes, that happens. The Decepticons win, basically.
There being 10,000 of the Autobots, they do a pretty bad job.
Megatron laughs maniacally as he flies away, firing off his cannon to blow up the oil rig, and something to make it so the water is on fire. So the oil on top of the water is on fire, so you got fire and water firing.
Yeah, and those things do not mix with humans.
The humans call for help here. Optimus can't free them from the thing that they're trapped behind as the fires close in. Kristen, they have to keep their heads above water.
Okay, so here's a couple things.
Yes.
Optimus is like, it's too heavy. He's a huge robot. What does he mean it's too heavy? 2, can't they hold their breath and swim under it? Are their hard hats too heavy?
How can robots swim?
They do a lot in these episodes, so I just decided I don't care. It's not my problem. I'm not going to worry about it.
That's the end of part 1. Ba-na-na-na-na. Part 2.
My first note is, wow, very fast recap.
The recap takes about 10 seconds here. There's a certain line where the Decepticons attack the Autobots after 4 million years, which makes it sound like that the Decepticons waited 4 million years to attack the Autobots when it was just a run-on sentence.
It's fine. We'll wait. Tap, tap, watch.
So we start with Huffer, Kristen, who has not been named here, and...
oh, good, because I was like, who the fuck is Huffer, who the fuck is Brawn?
Other Autobots that were here that I don't believe we had seen in shots yet. Maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times a lady.
Mm-hmm. His arm is stuck, and I wrote, you're a robot, idiot, rip it off.
Or transform. That's another thing, they can just fucking give him a new arm if they want, probably.
Yeah, they're robots. They've been exploded and dead, and they put them back together.
So here's where we see, like, hey, here's what the cool Autobots can do, because I have a lot of just I guesses here. Trailbreaker uses his big damn shield, I guess. Mm-hmm. Wheeljack has a fire extinguisher arm, I guess.
That looks like it was some kind of, like, chilly wind. Or maybe just a very strong wind, that because it looked like clouds, it looked cold.
A liquid nitrogen hand.
Sure, that's pretty dangerous.
That would be. And Jazz has a grappling hook arm, which he actually uses, like, 5 times in these next 2 episodes.
Super useful for all these heavy robots who are not great at swimming, I guess.
Optimus saves Sparkplug and Spike here thanks to teamwork and explains that we are Autobots from Cybertron, which I'm sure they understood every word of.
Yeah, he just gives up the ghost real fast, like, so this is how things are. You follow me? And Spike's like, hell yes I do. Can you be our president?
Spike is like, I want to help. Which Optimus is like, I don't want to get humans involved in our fight. We got to fight the robots. So we got to do a lot of robot murder unchecked by humans. Thank you.
But his dad, who should be the responsible authority figure in his life, is like, no. Hey, Mr. Alien Robot. What do you know about Earth? Not as much as I do, I bet.
True.
Yeah!
So Spike is writing on a journal on a rock near the Ark, which, as you said, now this doesn't happen until later, but he does say Optimus Prime should be our president.
Yeah, we are going to get there, but just because I like it so much anyway, I did write Optimus Prime 2020 with Vice President Kimber Benton.
Boy, I like that Ronnie Reagan, but Optimus Prime, he would be a really cut-up guy.
This little kid definitely knows what he's talking about.
Soundwave watches nearby and turns into his microcassette player form, which is probably the first time we've seen this, but again, scale issues, he gets really small. So, Spike notices this piece of technology out in the fucking wildlands of Washington, and he's like, I wonder who left this here, and takes it inside the base.
So he steals something that could conceivably belong to someone else.
Yes.
And despite all the other stuff that Optimus told him, he didn't explain, here's what the Decepticons look like. That seems like an important piece of information he skipped over.
So as they go into the base here, Spike starts asking the hard questions of Trailbreaker.
Who?
Trailbreaker is the black pickup truck with the van top thing on it.
Great. Yeah, now I understand.
So Spike asks here, hey Trailbreaker, why do the Transformers transform at all?
See, now we start asking these deep lore questions that I feel like the cartoon didn't need to answer.
Trailbreaker says disguise, which they really don't need to be disguised on Cybertron.
No, not really.
Unless you're Soundwave and it's specifically for spying purposes.
I mean, it really doesn't matter.
So, Kristen, Beast Wars came up with a really good way of why the Autobots need to be animals on, spoiler alert, Earth, prehistoric Earth. It's because when they're in their robot forms, if they stay in their robot forms for too long, there's some, like, weird layer of raw energon that starts fucking with them and killing them.
Virus, I understand.
Essentially. So, he also...
How are these alien robots so friendly and why is something I wrote.
Trailbreaker also says that it beats walking, which is true, but they can also fly.
Only for these episodes.
Spike is like, okay, so you can transform, but how do you do it? And Hound is like this, and he transforms into a Jeep. And Spike goes, my question is answered.
He loves it.
So they head out here, Hound saying that he's going to take Spike on the ride of his life, which, in retrospect, considering there's a shot later where it looks like Hound is fucking Spike in the ass, it's,
Are you talking about Spike's Ahegao face?
Yes, I am, in fact.
Uh-huh. A little weird, but okay, cartoon.
So everybody leaves, which gives Soundwave the opportunity to send out Ravage to go into Teletran 1, which is the Transformers computer, which apparently has a cassette port on it. They start stealing some information about Earth, and we get a nice boy and his robot type scene here, where it's basically like, wow, Earth sure is beautiful. Oh, but don't you miss Cybertron, Hound? I don't give a shit. Whatever. I get it.
Earth is only fine. I want to travel to Cosmos. And to marry a beautiful robot woman one day.
Oh boy, Kristen. We'll be counting the episodes until we find a robot woman in this series.
Oh, don't worry. I'm well aware.
There is a lady that shows up before Susan Blue in the movie, Kristen, but it's one episode, I'm pretty sure.
Did Susan Blue show up in the movie?
She's RC.
No, but is that where RC came from?
Yes, the movie.
Oh, no.
So we have, 64 episodes before we get to RC?
Great.
54?
Fantastic. It's fine because girls don't buy toys.
We have the entire run of Gem before we get to RC.
That's why Gem was created. And even then, Rio was in the first episode. And Howard Sands. And Eric.
Eric and Rio are in the very first scene.
And kind of Emmett Benton, but he's dead.
Kristen, the very first sentence ends with a male character.
Yep.
being dropped.
It was the 80s.
It all started with the death of my Starscream.
Aww.
So Spike and Hound come back from their fucking joyride here, and...
I did say about Spike, this guy is bland, but I gotta hand it to him. So far, he's not annoying.
He's not annoying, which is nice, yeah.
He doesn't have to be there, but he's not pissing me off.
No. He's a fairly generic guy, but sometimes, when you've got a bunch of fucking robots around, you need a generic guy, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It grounds it. The little boys can imagine that they're also a person working on an oil rig and a hard hat. How old is Spike?
I'm 32.
Oh, no!
It's me, Zipper.
That's what Zipper's been doing this whole time. He looks good.
Working on
de-aged.
Working on an oil rig, he had some deep oil facials. Mm-hmm. That turned him into a child.
It was amazing for his skin.
So Spike comes back in here and notices Soundwave hooked up to the computer. He's like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? So he hits an alarm, which apparently he knows where the alarm is.
Yep, I noticed that too. Like, wow, he really did get only half of the information, but some very important things.
Soundwave runs away. Ravage runs with him, but they manage to get the drop on Ravage. I guess because he's slower, but there is a weird moment where they're trying to shoot lasers at him, but because Ravage is a black cassette panther, they're like, it's so dark, we can't see him!
So they're like, let's turn on our infrared. And I said, you're fucking robots, what would infrared do?
Kristen, as it turns out, Gears' infrared is a red light.
Yeah. Why couldn't they just turn on normal lights to try and find him? Like, maybe you can make the argument that the robots are kind of hot from operation?
True.
But you could also make the argument that they're made of metal, so maybe they're not.
They presumably have engines, but I don't know. Ravage, also, not a car, so...
No! They just want to hurt the kitty.
Ravage gets caught in a cyber net here or something, and is basically caught for... we don't see him until the next episode at this point.
Yeah, at some point Soundwave does turn around like, no, my cat.
Soundwave gets back to base here and plays back some info about the Sherman Dam to Megatron and the power it produces, which interests him greatly.
So Starscream's like, nice try, idiot, but that's not going to be enough power for cubes.
Your knowledge is only overshadowed by your stupidity, Starscream.
Super rude. But it's true.
Megatron's plan is to make a tidal wave, which I did put a question mark after that, because it's not necessarily a tidal wave.
Yeah, I don't think they understand how hydroelectricity works.
I mean, I'm no expert, Kristen, but pushing more water through the dam presumably makes more electricity, I guess?
I think that they just think extra force of water, even if it doesn't get converted into electricity, somehow equal energy? Also, I was like, so a whole tanker's worth of oil wasn't enough, but a broke-ass dam would be enough energy for them to go home, because that's what they say.
Yes, they say that that's all that they need forever and ever, amen. Like, as many energon cubes as they... To be fair, electricity is a renewable resource, Kristen.
I mean, again, this is where I think they're going to say something about, like, renewable energy versus, like, fossil fuels. It never comes up.
Ruby crystals from Burma are not a renewable resource.
Sounds great. And then this is where in my notes, when they show some people working at the dam, I say, like, I know I shouldn't even bother asking, but am I going to see a woman in a hard hat anytime soon? Or do ladies only do domestic work in Transformers?
So, Rumble gets thrown into the fucking ocean to start making tidal wave with his fucking things here, and...
I don't think that's how that would work, but I also don't know enough about physics to dispute it.
Here's where we, cut to the dam, and the gauges are going crazy! Everybody to emergency station! Ooh!
She's gonna blow! Oh, there's the first female character, it's the dam.
Back at the Ark here, Jazz and Spike see that there's some trouble. Somehow it's just like, wait a minute, here's this huge power spike. And for some reason, Spike can read the Cybertronian glyphs on Teletran 1's screen.
He learns so fast.
Back at the dam, Megatron walks through a wall.
Yay! Oh, yeah.
Casually walks in and is just like, hey, I'm Megatron. Ugh, give me the electricity.
And it works? Question mark?
We go back to the Autobots where Optimus goes, Autobots, transform and roll out, accelerate!
Woo! There they go. All those cars.
We go back to the dam, and yes, she's about to blow. End of segment 1 here. The humans again warn Megatron, just like, after we come back from commercial break. Okay, so like I said, she's gonna blow! Starscream uses his null ray to stop some turbines, and they use the turbines to get the electricity to put in the energon cubes?
They put it on tap like they're taking maple syrup out of a tree, and they just get it. I'm not sure about the energon cube making process, but I'm gonna ignore it. Also, did he just say Autopots?
It's very possible. The Autopots now show up at the dam.
There they are, the Autopots.
You're too late, Prime. So Hound jumps into the water here because he and Spike apparently found exactly where Rumble is doing his shake, shake, shaking.
It's all the bubbles coming up.
Ironhide here, as the water is now like forcibly going over the dam and the river is like overflowing. His idea, he says to Bumblebee, he transforms and says, I'm going to make a new river. Huh? What?
And yeah, my notes, quotes, make a new river. I mean, well, I don't agree with this.
So Bumblebee gets in his ass here and uses a laser to carve up the ground to divert the flow of overflowing water, which there are some people... Apparently news travels fast because there are people hanging out on a roof like, yeah...
Already ready for the flood. We thought our pets were gonna die, but we're gonna be okay.
The rest of the Autobots fly over to the power plant here, blowing away Starscream and a robot who's colored exactly like Starscream to get in.
Aw, that's too bad.
Also, another animation... you could say it's an animation error. Rumble is also here hanging out at the dam.
Wait a minute.
It could be Frenzy. We don't know.
There's no way of telling.
Optimus tells Megatron to stick it in neutral, which presumably means he's just, stop right there.
I was saying, if that's just saying stop it, I don't see how that's any more efficient and, like economy of syllables.
He could just say, stop it.
Hey, stop.
Sparkplug leads the humans out to safety as we have another robot fight here. Mm-hmm. And Megatron knocks Optimus onto, off a ledge that he's hanging maybe 5 feet off the ground.
I mean, it's not like in the next episode he falls from space to Earth. So don't worry about it.
And Megatron goes, any last words, Prime?
None you'd want to hear, Megatron.
He is going to tell him to fuck himself.
I just wrote Optimus sounds stupid.
So Megatron is grinding his feet into Optimus's hands, and yes, thank you, Kristen, for reminding me that Optimus falls from space in the 3rd episode.
Yay!
Starscream uses some weird slingshot to just start blowing up the plant, because he's like, right, Autobots, fuck you.
He had a gun, but now he's like, pew, 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 like a dumb, mischievous little boy from the 1940s.
It allows Optimus to recover because everything blowing up makes Megatron sort of stumble, and then we have a knife fight on a stone bridge.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. I wrote, damn fight, damn fight, damn fight. Also, here's a question, Joe.
Yes.
What does it mean when Optimus's eyes get flashy?
Megatron's eyes get flashy too, and I assume it's like the old anime twinkle in the eye kind of
Just
thing.
for emphasis?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's really getting serious now. Meow, meow, meow. Okay.
So Optimus has a laser axe come out of his hand, and Megatron has a laser mace come out.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes.
Does the laser mace ever come back?
No, the laser axe does not come back either.
No! God, why?
Kristen, these weapons were so iconic for Optimus and Megatron that the Masterpiece Optimus that I have has a laser axe that you can put onto his hand.
That's amazing.
Even though they only show up in this short scene in these episodes in the Masterpiece Megatron that's
amazing.
Incredibly fucking finicky and terrible and is a gun that's way too huge for a human hand. Also, he comes with a laser mace.
I'm just so disappointed. They complain and jab at each other back and forth. At some point, Optimus says something to Megatron like, you're just junk, you destroy everything you touch. And I thought Megatron was gonna say, oh yeah, well I'm about to touch you.
Whoa.
But that didn't happen.
I have that they trade old man barbs.
Yeah, see, Optimus calls Megatron yesterday's model, which made me
does.
ask, who's making the Transformers Robot God a factory? I have questions.
Wheeljack.
Yeah, now I know it's Wheeljack, so asked and answered.
Also, I called it a New Hope tier lightsaber swings at each other, so it's Darth Vader and fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting each other like, Also, after Optimus calls Megatron junk, he eats the laser mace in his face.
Woo!
Hound is still fighting Rumble underwater here, and for the 2nd episode in a row...
Pretty slow and boring.
After Rumble gets out of the water, Spike gets decked by him.
Yeah, he gets thrown into, a cliff face, 3 times.
So, Optimus is knocked into the river at this point, and Megatron gloats, swinging a chain over his head at the waterfall.
He stretches his arms out Superman style, and this chain is just going woo, woo, woo. He looks beautiful, like a lovely, majestic bird.
And then he starts flying off with it still twirling above his head.
There he goes.
Fucking Thor flying with Mjolnir.
He looks amazing.
Segment 2 ends here. It looks like the Decepticons' plan basically worked. That's basically what happened.
They got a bunch of energy. The only success on the Autobots' part is that a bunch of humans didn't die.
Start of segment 3, Jazz uses his grappling hook to get Prime out of the river.
Thank God he has that thing.
And when we last saw Spike, he was being choked by Rumble, essentially, but now Rumble's just gone.
Yeah, he just gave up. He was like, I'm bored.
So he jumps into the river, and Hound is buried under some rocks.
And I know, I'll jump into the raging river to save the robot I met today.
The robot is saved that he met today, and here is where, yes, we see Hound goes, "Oh, Spike, you nearly flooded your engine." And from the perspective, he's giving him like a back massage, kind of. Hound is giving Spike a back massage, I guess.
So I was in the middle of writing, I want a robot massage, and then I wrote, oh god, Spike just did not hang out face.
He does like a
He's receiving sexual gratification from this robot.
They did both nearly die, so the tensions were high.
Emotions are running high. It just happens sometimes. They don't talk about it later, so the moment passes.
So it got weird.
Yeah, let's not. It's done. It happened. Let's move on.
The Autobots all congregate at the still raging dam, and Mirage is like, "I want to go home, Optimus."
Well, shut up, you dumb baby. Who the fuck is Huffer?
Huffer was the guy who had his arm trapped at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, that idiot.
"We're not fighters like the Decepticons, even though there are 2 Autobots for every Decepticon, and 4 of the Decepticons are cassettes."
I mean, they're pacifists. It's fine. You know, a pacifist with a laser axe arm.
Kristen, I did note, because I did note that, you know, as far as 1984 Decepticons, your toys are Megatron, Soundwave, the 3 Jets, the cassettes, and that's it. Reflector isn't even a toy. He was a fucking mail-away toy in 1986 after his character was no longer in the series.
Were they just, like, dead certain people didn't want toys of the bad guys?
Possibly, which is weird considering, I mean, there are a lot of generic soldiers in Cobra. There are very few named officers in Cobra. So I think you can't really do that unless, of course, we find later that just the Decepticons have 1 million Reflector robots and 1 million jets that aren't Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp.
Yeah.
So that's where they get their numbers. But yeah, there are about 20 Autobots.
I mean, there's also nothing stopping them from, in the cartoon, designing even more additional Decepticons to make it at least look even.
I guess that's where...
And just not making toys out of them.
The Reflector robots come from, that, I guess, along with the jets.
But there's still clearly 10,000 Autobots.
To the point where I'm pretty sure not all of them are named.
Yeah! Whatever. We have an energy stealing montage, I think.
I wrote, "It's snowing wherever Thundercracker is." Or wait, because here's, again, after I just said that there's only 6 Decepticons, there's a bunch of fucking jets that are just colored like Thundercracker.
So yeah, there's just a couple of them, whatever.
So, yeah, we see just the Decepticons are getting a bunch of fucking Energon cubes here.
Even though the dam was supposed to be enough to go home, but whatever.
Yeah, well, they had to leave, I guess, so now we get... Megatron's like, "Alright, we need one more energy source before we leave." And Soundwave's like, "Oh, let me tell you about the ruby crystal mines of Burma."
So Joe, where's Burma?
Burma is Myanmar.
Here's another question. How rubies give energy?
They're good conductors. Aren't jewels like good conductors for magic traditionally in fantasy media?
Okay, are we talking about energy or are we talking about magic, Joe?
Energy.
Why didn't they just rob a Toys R Us and steal a bunch of AAA batteries?
Kristen, believe me, they don't want AAA batteries. They want D batteries.
Why didn't they knock down the Duracell factory?
That's all they need. It's apparently the richest source of energy on the face of the earth, these ruby crystals of Burma.
That's what's happening. That's what happens, so we can't argue.
But now they suddenly need more energy because Starscream is taking a joyride with a fucking laser gun.
For some reason, they had the Energon cubes just kind of stacked up around like a weird laser railgun that Starscream was like, "Pew, pew, pew." And Megatron just kind of comes over and smacks him on the back of the head like, "You dumb bitch idiot. Stop wasting the shit we need."
"I was testing the energy cubes."
He says, "You didn't know that they worked until I tested them." Like, you fucking baby idiot. I love him.
Well, now the fucking crystals aren't gonna be enough, you shitface.
They just need extra.
Soundwave was like, rocket fuel? Rocket fuel.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So Trailbreaker is up on a hill with Sparkplug and Spike. They're having a little picnic. And...
Yeah, so we saw an energy stealing montage.
Yes.
Spike and, what the fuck is his name? Sparkplug?
Yes.
They're drinking coffee in the woods with no particular heat source in view. They just have like a carafe and some cups. How long have they been out there? How is Spike's dad getting income? Is he providing for his family?
I mean, I would assume that oil rig destroyed by robots.
Do you think they got a settlement?
Some sweet compensation.
That's true.
I'm sure that falls under Act of God on insurance.
Yeah, we missed the one little part where he went to court and got enough money to live comfortably for the rest of his days and dedicated himself to the cause of helping these alien robots.
To want to go back to Cybertron at the end of these episodes.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful, actually.
So, Starscream doesn't like being talked down to, of course. I'm gonna lead the Decepticons, and I've waited 1,000,000 goddamn years. I don't care if I have to wait a little longer.
Whatever, baby. We got rubies to get.
Megatron assembles their strike force, which, again, a fuck ton of random jets and reflectors.
None of it means anything. This was a show made for children whose attention spans are only slightly worse than mine.
It's back to Sparkplug and Spike here. Sparkplug notes that I like being a spy more than working on an oil rig. Oh.
Is that some kind of, commentary on, dangerous labor in the United States? Is that, an OSHA thing?
Some kind of commentary about being a child at heart, possibly not being a realist, not growing up.
Maybe. He'd rather play games, but he has the money to do it now, we've established.
As well, Sparkplug and Spike still wearing hard hats, even though they've been off the oil rig for months, presumably.
Stop criticizing them for wanting to be safe.
Some jets start going after Trailbreaker here because they decide to head off to tell Optimus about the plan. Because again, here we go. It's the Decepticons formulate a plan. The Autobots are informed through something, some means. The Autobots form a plan. The Decepticons are informed through whatever.
Back and forth. So while they're hanging out with, see, the abbreviations aren't helping me. Trailbreaker?
Trailbreaker, yes.
Not Trailblazer, Trailbreaker.
No, Trailblazer is a basketball team in Portland.
I knew that. As they're headed out, Spike does go look, no hands, and Trailbreaker's yeah, no problem, I could drive myself. When they start getting attacked, for some reason, they need to have one of the Spike or Sparkplug, I can't even remember which one, take his radio to radio for backup. He can drive himself, but he can't go, help!
Trailbreaker chose to be a fucking pickup truck. He's not faster than jets. Wow, who would have guessed?
I mean, it makes sense.
So Sunstreaker and Sideswiper.
Joe, you gotta stop drinking.
Sunstreaker and Asswipe show up here, and...
That's so mean!
I wonder if anybody ever called Sideswipe Asswipe in the comics.
I hope so.
I don't know if they cuss in the comics, so I'm not sure.
We'll look into it. I'm gonna change Sideswipe's Wikipedia page alias Asswipe.
So, they're brothers.
No, they're not! They're robots!
Robo-brothers. Robros.
Sure.
Mostly because they're both Lamborghini Countashes. And, Kristen, do you remember the Lamborghini Countach was the favored vehicle of one Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that Frank bought for himself?
Yes, I do remember. Thank you for explaining that, because I would not have remembered otherwise.
The frame of reference for these very fancy cars that they are.
Perfect.
So that's why they came, because Lamborghini fast. Lamborghini equals fast in the eyes of
Are luxury cars because they can go fast? Is that how that works? We're not wealthy people.
I don't know if it's... I'm assuming it's... They can go fast is not the main draw of it, because otherwise...
I mean, the fancy door is the main draw.
Yeah. They'd probably look like shit, but yeah, the Gullwing doors or however... No, they're not... The weird 45-degree angle shifting doors...
Yeah, okay.
Is partial part of it. I don't know about luxury cars, Kristen.
Again, we have no frame of reference.
Other than It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes. No personal experience.
All that they do as they come over is Sideswipe fires a gun at one of the jets, which just has them run away, has the two jets run away.
Ow, my ass!
Ow, my ass. And Sunstreaker is like, my paint got chipped, what the fuck?
Which I guess means he, broke a nail. Smudged his eyeliner.
He's so prissy, oh no.
Aw, that's kind of cute. So we're in Burma now.
The Ruby Crystal Mines of Burma, which apparently Sparkplug says at one point that he worked in these mines. So...
Yeah,
Burma, Washington, I guess?
I guess so. Watching also Megatron kind of talk about the rubies and be excited about it, I was like, Megatron's mouth opens, Eric Raymond crawls out with an armful of rubies laughing like a maniac. It feels like it fits.
Oh no, Eric and the Decepticons. The Autobots are outside the mines here as they're trying to come up with a plan. Ironhide's plan is, let's blow them the fuck up, and Wheeljack is like, yeah, I brought a bomb!
Yes, so first Optimus is like, hang on a minute. And I thought he was going to say, that could potentially be dangerous. Let's not do that. No? The plan is go in covertly and then blow it up?
Yes, because I did write here, Optimus Prime doesn't understand what a mine collapse is.
No. Their plan is to, entomb the Decepticons forever. Most people in mine collapses die of, a lack of oxygen.
And, yeah, you don't really need to breathe when you're a robot.
Yeah, and being crushed to death does nothing because they're giant robots and made of metal. It's a bad plan. And it goes badly.
So Sparkplug volunteers to go be Covert Man because he loves being a secret agent, I guess. And Bumblebee is, of course, like, well, I'm small, I'll do it. Ooh.
Beep, beep, let's go. Blow shit up.
Sparkplug gets inside Bumblebee, and Wheeljack hands him the bomb.
Right up his ass.
Right through his armpit, I guess, is the door. So,
Yep. Through the armpit into the ass.
So Wheeljack gives him the bomb, and Bumblebee then drives 2.5 feet to the mouth of the cave before transforming again.
Yeah, because cars are loud. Big walking robots going gurt, 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 gurt. Very quiet. I mean, no one really sees them until they're on their way out.
Very true. They walk inside here and find Thundercracker and Skywarp, who are making small talk as they're pushing along a giant minecart.
It is also emphasized very clearly he got 60 seconds with the bomb.
Oh, yes. As Wheeljack points out later, though, it is 59.99, so he's a liar.
Liar!
He rounded up. It's okay.
No, it's not, because they get caught in the explosion. Anyway, some of the Decepticons make a comment about the Earth being flat.
I don't know. It doesn't occur to me until just now that either Thundercracker or Skywarp, because I don't remember who said it, is a flat earther then.
Yes, absolutely. Which is weird, because they crashed to Earth, so they would have seen the curvature of the Earth, Joe.
Kristen, they were looking at it from directly above, so it may look like a circle, but if you just kind of looked at it from a different angle, it would have looked more oblong-y. And then if they could have crashed into the bottom of the Earth if they weren't careful, so they gotta fucking be careful about that.
Oh, you mean an oblate spheroid?
Yes?
That's the shape that the Earth is.
Ah, thank you.
A sphere, but not really.
Why is my question.
Why is the Earth not a sphere?
Why is the Earth not a sphere?
Because it's spinning a lot.
Ah! No, okay, there we go.
Yes.
That makes sense. All right.
On an axis.
Ah, yes. Okay.
I know, haha, to you, Joe, I had the answer to that question.
Well, no, I was hoping you would because I was legitimately asking.
Okay.
So Bumblebee and Sparkplug follow behind Thundercracker and Skywarp, who lead them directly to the Decepticons. Just in time for Megatron to say that they have one more load to go, so...
Of how many? I would like a quantifiable number of, like, ruby payloads.
Bumblebee sets the bomb here and they start
Joe,
to run...
answer me!
Bumblebee sets the bomb here as they start to run the hell out of there, finding Skywarp and Thundercracker blocking their path, so I guess they ended up in front of them at some point?
Did Bumblebee consider turning it into a car and letting Sparkplug up his ass and driving out of there?
Outside, everybody is just like, wait a minute.
This is taking a while.
Probably should be out here by now. And Ironhide goes, I'm gonna go look for him. Optimus is like, no, fuck off. Guy who was also voiced by Peter Cullen.
It's hero time now. I'm gonna send a tiny thing from inside me in.
I'm gonna send a little R2-D2 lunar lander fucking thing.
It really sounds exactly like R2-D2.
Optimus says, if I'm not back in 5 minutes, come get me, which is not a cool line at all.
No, it really isn't. Optimus turns into his riggedy-rig self and parks his ass directly in front of the mouth of the cave. Joe, once again, they were expecting an explosion eventually.
Presumably, yes.
So he tumbles down a hill.
Yeah, Roller goes into the cave, and Bumblebee and Sparkplug are pinned down by the Decepticons, and the bomb goes off.
Dad's dead.
And we end on a shot of Optimus rolling very slowly down the hill, going, Roller!
He fell 5 feet.
That's the end of part 2.
With part 3, we go through another recap of what's been going on. And at this point, I was like, can I just say I don't think the whole 4 million years thing was very well telegraphed in the first episode. Once again, we covered it, but it's worth repeating.
So we join Optimus rolling down the hill already in progress here.
Very dramatic, very slow.
Optimus ends up on his side here, and everybody puts in their effort to put him back on his wheels. And
What if he just transformed?
he goes, how's Roller? And Roller just kind of comes out of the cave and makes R2-D2...
Beep, beep, bitch!
He goes, beep, beep, bitch, and just goes back into Optimus's trailer ass, which isn't technically Optimus's ass, because his trailer just is...
It exists in negative space.
Yeah, hammer space, yes.
Yeah.
Trailer space.
Trailer space. They're really concerned about the fact that Optimus is having problems like transforming, uncontorting. They're not really concerned at all for the flesh and blood human man who is in that explosion.
We get an extended shot here of Optimus trying to transform, while Peter Cullen makes sex-grown poop noises going on, basically. At one point, Gears says to Optimus, just try harder, Optimus!
What do you mean you can't walk? Have you tried?
Oh my god, George Arthur Bloom!
Yay!
Gears was the inspiration for Cisco.
Yay!
And we waste a good 45 seconds doing this.
It really is a long extended sequence.
Finally, after all of that, Optimus is like, oh fuck, Bumblebee and Sparkplug. What happened to them?
And there in my notes I said, oh no, I hope I heard wrong, but yeah, the dad's name is fucking Sparkplug. Bad and dumb. Question, how old is Spike? Where's Spike's mom?
Where's Jim's passport? So they start to dig through the rubble and find them in a shorter amount of time than it took Optimus to transform.
Yep.
Sparkplug comments, oh, Wheeljack, you weren't kidding when you said that bomb would go in 60 seconds.
What the fuck kind of a weird quip joke is that?
Why would he lie about that?
I don't know.
We assume that the Decepticons are just kind of buried under all of the rubble, but the top of the cave explodes, basically, because... Did everybody fucking forget that Megatron has a howitzer on his arm?
Once they bury all of the Decepticons, too, they're like, nice, now we can go back to Cybertron. And I was like, and leave the fucking Decepticons on Earth to torment people? Like, check the bodies, please. So yeah, they bust out, and Megatron is like, yes! Freedom! And they were trapped for 2 whole minutes.
They fly away with all of their Energon cubes, and Optimus...
Question, can they all fly or what? Asked and answered.
Well, we see here... Ironhide's like, I'm gonna go after him, but it's like, Ironhide, you're a truck, you dumbass. But he
Superman arms. I wrote, this is stupid.
He goes and flies here, and I started writing, Prowl goes after him, but no, it's Bluestreak goes after him.
Woo!
Because, Kristen, they share a mold, you see.
I understand.
The weird thing about Bluestreak is he is silver, and there is a third 1985 Autobot that uses the same mold as Prowl and Bluestreak, who has some blue on him. And do you want to know his name?
Well, I see it in your notes. Smokescreen?
It is Smokescreen.
That is interesting.
That's not confusing at all.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Bluestreak is also Casey Kasem, as I said earlier here. He flies after Ironhide to be like, Ironhide, just call it off.
It's fine, come back, get off the ledge.
But Ironhide decides to use his fucking Boba Fett backpack missile that just comes out of his back to fire at one of the Decepticons, and it hits Skywarp, who doesn't seem terribly fazed by it.
No, and then it turns out, aptly named, Skywarp can then just teleport right behind him and give a little kiss right back.
He does a nice teleports behind you. He asks permission from Megatron first, and I'm not sure why, but...
He's polite.
That's what he does. Apparently, Kristen, Skywarp is a bit of a trickster when it comes to his teleporting, including things like pushing people downstairs.
Yay! I love it.
You learn a lot of fun things on the Transformers wiki, which was my guide to these characters not watching this series, because it's a very entertaining wiki. It's written in a way that kind of knows that Transformers is bullshit.
I can appreciate a hustle like that. So do we want to talk about the shameful-ass animation?
Oh, it's terrible, Kristen! I don't know if you said an animation error. I wouldn't call this an animation error. This is just lazy.
Yeah, this is just horrible. And, like, to some degree, I wonder if maybe some of these things didn't bother me as much because either the general animation quality of this episode was better than some of the worst episodes of Gem. I don't know if that's true, or if it's just because we're not looking at humans most of the time. It's harder to tell when things look wrong.
True.
But, yeah, so missiles are getting fired at the dumb Autobot buddies, and they just keep sliding up and down in the frame, avoiding them, not moving.
The animation cell, yes, Ironhide and Bluestreak are looking at each other from before when they were talking to one another. It's that same shot, but somebody just takes the cell and just moves it a little bit up, not even like moving it side to side or anything.
Nope.
As a missile goes by, and then boo, and another missile goes by, and finally the animation starts up back again.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually someone gets shot in the ass.
Ironhide does get shot in the ass here and starts plummeting back to Earth.
I wrote, that's what you get, idiot.
Which, Kristen, if a fall from 5 feet was going to kill Optimus Prime, Ironhide falling into water, hitting hard water, concrete water, from high up, especially as a truck, probably would fuck him up a bit.
Oh, he should have exploded.
He does say his linkage is busted after Jazz uses his grappling arm for a third time to rescue him.
Is that the part that connects his one butt to his other butt? His ass cheeks.
His normal ass to his trunk ass.
Yeah.
His linkage. The ass bone.
Yeah. I broke my ass bone.
Ironhide starts droning on about war stories as they shove him into Ratchet's ass here, too.
And Optimus is like, shut the fuck up. You just made a mistake.
So they head back to the base here, and yes, here we are. Spike is like, Optimus Prime is a cool guy. He would make a neat president.
Unfortunately for Spike, Optimus Prime cannot be the president because he was not born in the United States.
Very true. He has the Arnold Schwarzenegger problem.
Sorry to break it to him.
So Ravage is in a cage now, and Hound is taunting him with the key.
I hate it.
Mirage is like, I wonder why the Decepticons haven't tried to rescue Ravage. And Hound is like, they don't fuck them. They don't care about anybody, not even their own. And then Hound uses his hologram gun to make a Megatron hologram to tease Ravage.
I thought this was going to turn into another thing besides the thing that it does turn into, which is like, wait a minute, holograms, where someone got confused about whether or not Megatron was actually there, which would have been pretty stupid. So I guess I'm glad it didn't happen. It just feels like a thing that could have happened.
Oh, one thing we forgot to mention when Hound was showing off transforming to Spike in the previous episode, he does use his hologram generator to make a fake driver in his car, so that's another kind of disguise thing, but that's, I believe, the only time that comes up.
Cool.
And the first time that we hear it pronounced as hologram, which they say for the entire episode.
What is going on?
So Hound has synergy built into his arm.
I hate it. Wait, is Emmett Benton the guy who made Transformers?
I believe, Kristen, there was a big IDW crossover for like all of the Hasbro properties a few years ago. I want to say that as a result of Transformers technology was responsible for synergy, but I don't remember if that's exactly how it went down.
That's
it was something
crazy.
All right. I think it was, and I'm probably wrong because I'm like third hand remembering and I'm piecing things together.
Tell me a lie.
All right, so we've got G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Right? The Autobots are on Earth. The Autobots are under the jurisdiction of G.I. Joe. They're working together. Emmett Benton and the guy for some other Hasbro property with holograms work for G.I. Joe as scientists.
Okay.
And then they use that Autobot technology
to create a girl rock band.
To create a computer to be a girl rock band.
Oh my god.
And I can't remember the name of the fucking guys with the hologram faces toys. Whatever, but I want to say that's how it happened, but I think that might be me just making fan fiction.
That's crazy, and I love it. Emmett Benton was busy.
Working for G.I. Joe.
Working for G.I. Joe, owning a music company, building a robot computer, having a lot of clothes made for after he died for his children, raising Kimber, who is the worst person in the universe. That's a real American hero.
So after the Megatron hologram is made, Mirage goes, that's great. Why don't you make me a 4-car garage back on Cybertron? Nobody would know the difference. Kristen, a 4-car garage, considering, Transformers are cars, does this mean he is looking for some fucking polygamy action or only slaves?
I was going to say, is that for his, sister wives? So I'm glad we were in the same trail of thought there. However, Joe, you missed the thing that the cartoon cared about. Big illusion.
Big damn illusion. Gigantic hologram. A big synergy. A big purple Olivia Newton-John.
So I see that you wrote here, it will trick the Decepticons to come to them. Would it maybe deceive the Decepticons?
But Kristen, as we find out, the Decepticons are deceivers themselves, and
it turns out they're pretty smart, actually.
Kristen, they love deception and adore liars.
They really do. I think Starscream is really the only stupid one out of all of them.
We get another transition here. Hound and Mirage are having a very obvious conversation in front of Ravage. They're like, hey, Teletrans 1 found all of this rocket fuel, and
wow,
we're gonna go steal it so Megatron can't steal it.
You don't say. Man, that is really convenient. Flips keys around my fingers.
Whoops, I dropped the keys. Let's go.
No one needs to stay here and watch Ravage. We'll be fine. And then the kitty gets out.
Yeah, he uses his robot cat paw to grab the key and then somehow grips the key in a way that lets him open the cage.
I wrote, that Robo-Panther got thumbs.
So the Autobots kind of like, oh, Ravage is getting away. Hey, let's chase him.
And they fake chasing him, and then he gets away. And they tell Optimus that he got away. And Optimus says, just according to Keikaku.
Also, Hound's mouth moves when Mirage is speaking in that scene.
I didn't notice.
So we hear Ravage talking in cassette form here while inside. He doesn't make... It's just Frank Welker.
I don't know why I thought he would make dog noises.
Frank Welker just being like, the Autobots are gonna get rocket fuel.
And they're like, cool. And then Megatron and Starscream argues more.
Megatron brings up the fact, a valid fact, a valid mistake that Starscream made was him being very loud about saying to Megatron's face, hey, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna do your job.
That he's just constantly, 100% of the time out loud planning a coup.
Yes. Starscream claims that he is the leader of the future, but Kristen, Megatron, ho, 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 ow! Starscream can't lead androids to a picnic.
Oh! I still don't have my rap air horn app. Otherwise, this would be a good place for it.
Starscream then tries to shoot Megatron when his back is turned, but Soundwave is standing right there, and he's like, Megatron.
I did write in my notes, not that I want him to, but why doesn't Megatron just kill Starscream? Again, asked and answered, like, they do address that kind of.
He basically, at this point, is just like, all right, motherfucker, you had your chance. That's mistake number 2. You're toast now, bitch.
And Starscream's like, with a gun pointed at his noggin. Please.
I didn't mean it.
Please, no shooty. Please. I won't be bad again.
So Starscream takes a shot from Megatron's fusion cannon in his shoulder, which is enough to kill Brawn in the movie.
So here's the thing. Also, everyone's aim sucks in this show. Like, fucking for real. Like, did they have a giant war or not?
Kristen, that's why the resources got all used up, because they can't hit each other with a fucking laser.
That makes total sense.
Starscream also gets on his knees and starts just, like, shuffling over, like,
Ow!
you shot me in the shoulder!
He's fine later.
We see Hound creating his hologram rocket depot, and the Decepticons all show up in the hills, which is the end of segment 1.
Is a big hologram.
The Autobots are all wearing lab coats for some reason?
Yeah, I saw that too. They cut away from it pretty fast.
And they make quick work of the Decepticons, which there's no explanation for how Megatron or someone of the Decepticons was able to make...
They do necromancy on a bunch of robot parts and make empty robot shells.
Mechromancy, thank you.
That's what I said.
Mech!
Oh! No, yeah, okay, you got me.
Megatron just figured it out incredibly quickly. It was just like, why would you let Ravage escape? I knew this was a trap, you fucking idiot.
They tricked their trick!
They got double tricked. Oh my god.
Two trick! So it turns out, and I think this is maybe the dumb part of the Autobots' plan, there is a real rocket site. So while they were protecting this fake rocket site, there was a real one that they weren't protecting.
The military fire Star Wars laser blasts at the Decepticons, which don't do anything. The Decepticons just take the energy and leave.
I also, in my notes, wrote a transcription of what Megatron's laugh sounds like.
If you don't mind.
It just says, just H's and A's and U's.
That doesn't sound correct at all.
Really? I mean, maybe my performance wasn't completely accurate, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Also, when they were going to that rocket base, they had the people in the radio tower, and they were like, who are you? And then they just kind of kept coming closer. If this were real America, they would have shot them right out of the
Yeah,
sky.
there would have been some fucking missiles coming at them.
Yeah, that would not have happened. Why was the Autobots lie based on the truth?
So we cut to Optimus giving a final battle speech. It is a dangerous battle, so they are going to
We
need
did
this.
a bad job, so this is gonna suck.
We're going to need some volunteers here. And everybody steps forward, even Spike and Sparkplug.
When it's like we have no choice, so it's time to fight, it really is voluntolding at that point.
Pretty much. Because if Mirage stepped back like, kind of a pacifist.
Actually,
Like,
maybe not.
how about I fucking pass my fist into your face, motherfucker? You're going.
Okay, I will fight too.
We get shots of everybody transforming. Just lots of shots of a lot of that going on. Another transition. No transform and roll out. Again, could have been a good time for it, but no. Autobots, go.
So Megatron starts to give his own rousing speech. I can't remember why, but I did write, I'm gonna kiss Soundwave and make Megatron watch.
That's... I don't know about that, yeah.
I'm just a fan of that guy.
So the Autobots encircle the Decepticon rock mesa that they built their spaceship in. And here we go, robot fight. Whoa, it's a fucking robot fight.
There's a one-on-one fight again with Optimus and Megatron. I put mano-y-mano or robo-a-robo.
Optimus's trailer transforms, and it does have a cannon in it that he uses to blow off Megatron's fusion cannon, but not before Megatron uses his fusion cannon to blow up the trailer so they can fight hand-to-hand Robo here.
I said put him in the Oscar lock.
Spike throws a rock at Starscream, which knocks his null ray off of his arm.
Oh, what a loser.
And then Prowl runs it over.
I think that's where I wrote, well, now what?
So, Ravage of all... Pokemon, I was almost going to say. Ravage is basically a Pokemon.
Yeah.
He knocks Optimus off of Megatron, and this allows them to all get into the ship and escape.
Which seems crazy, because Optimus Prime, I'm pretty sure, is huge. And Ravage, I'm pretty sure, is small.
Is the little Panther Man.
Yeah. So they'll get their asses onto that ship.
Segment 2 ends with Optimus going, Megatron!
Ship blasts off, and episode over?
Start of segment 3, Jazz is like, alright Optimus, we lost. Time to throw in the towel. And Optimus is like, we got 6 minutes left. Asswipe, come over here.
Don't call me that.
Give me your rocket pack.
Okay, God.
Give me your fucking rocket pack,
Take
Asswipe.
it.
So he puts on, apparently Sideswipe has a fucking jetpack. So,
Sure.
Which makes him fly faster.
Yeah, him rocketing after them solo is not really what I was expecting. No one else is even like, should I go too? They're just like, okay.
Not only that, Optimus catches up to a fucking spaceship pretty quickly, and the only thing that stops him is a laser to the face.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
And as well, Optimus falls from the fucking atmosphere.
Now that he's back in the atmosphere, with drops of rock in his hair, and on his face, and inside of his mouth.
He hits the ground and he's fine. He literally, the Autobots come over and like, Optimus, are you okay? He's like, I'm fine.
Shut up.
I'm okay.
So Sparkplug is like, hey, you did your best. And Prime's like,
Optimus
he's the leader.
Optimus is so bitchy here. He's just like, maybe, whatever.
Then they realize, hey, wait a minute. Where's Mirage?
Oh, Kristen, again, from that scene before where we show the hologram driver, Mirage can turn invisible. We did forget to mention that. So, true to his name.
Not really a hologram, but whatever. Could have turned into a lamp or something. That might have worked.
Back on the ship, Starscream decides now is the time to usurp Megatron.
Nice. And Megatron's like, fuck it again.
You learned absolutely nothing. And Starscream's like, I learned not to miss!
So Megatron says that if he takes him out, Starscream is just going to be waiting for someone to take him out too.
He's just going to breed more Starscreams, essentially.
If my understanding of the series as a whole means anything, this message does not sink in. Ever. Even though it's a pretty good point.
Kristen, I mean, you had seen the Transformers movie from how many times that I watched it, and you saw that the first thing that Starscream does, the moment Megatron is on the brink of death...
He has like a fucking coronation for himself.
No, I'm just saying straight up after he gets knocked off a ledge, Starscream kicks Megatron in the stomach.
Haha, loser. While we are in the middle of this 10th squabble happening between them, Mirage just fades in like, boop, boop, it's me, is this a bad time?
And he starts blowing up all the computers, which Starscream had a good shot here, I guess, because he just like, oh, I better take care of the Autobot that's on the ship. And while Starscream is doing that, somebody passes Megatron his fusion cannon from off screen.
Here you go, boss!
He just has another one and uses it to fire at Starscream.
So in general, things go pretty bad.
Yeah, Mirage shots were enough to basically fuck with all of the energy on the space cruiser, and it starts plummeting back towards Earth.
And he just jumps out, and he's got a parachute.
Happy landings!
Off I go! See you on terra firma!
So, yeah, Mirage has a robot parachute.
So is the parachute a robot, or...?
It looked like it had robot-y lines on it, so I think...
It can't be a normal parachute, because I don't think that would work on a robot.
No, probably not, but either way, Mirage has one and Optimus didn't, so...
How much further up was Mirage that he needed a parachute, but Optimus just fell and he was fine?
There's a very good chance Mirage could have jumped out lower than Optimus was when he fell out, because it was plummeting at that point.
It was falling, I guess, yeah, who knows?
So the Autobots all climb up onto a hill. Surprisingly as well, the ship crashes directly near the Autobots again.
It's all very coincidental.
And it goes right into the ocean here. The Autobots all congratulate Mirage, and Optimus is even like, I know you wanted to get back to Cybertron, but you could have waited for us.
Waka waka. So yeah, the goal was to keep the Decepticons from leaving. That's it. It was not to stop them from abusing Earth's natural resources for selfish reasons. Because after this, they're like, all right, time to get some natural resources so that we can build a ship.
Well, the Autobots, yeah, they have their own ship to repair here. And
They also, again, do not check the bodies before deciding that the Decepticons are just dead.
They don't do the double tap, of course, which they should be doing.
Also, in the sequence here, Joe, did you notice that there were, like, 3 different recordings of a bunch of people laughing or, like, cheering at the same time, and it all sounded fucking terrible?
I did not know.
It sounded like it was recorded from inside of a tin can. Also, I just realized we passed the only animation error that I noticed.
Oh, what was the animation error? Because I must not have seen it.
It was during the conversation in front of Ravage. There was a shot from, like, closer perspective of the cage where one of the dudes who was talking to the Autobots was also inside the cage somehow. Like he was pasted over it instead of behind it.
I love it. I did not see that.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
So Spike goes here, can I come back to Cybertron? And Dad Optimus here goes, ask your mother, Spike.
Here's the thing. Why didn't Optimus say no? Is there oxygen on Cybertron? Is there human food on Cybertron? I'm pretty sure both of those is no.
Spike can only go if Sparkplug goes too, is Sparkplug's response to that.
What about your wife, Sparkplug?
She died on an oil rig.
Aww.
She was the only female oil rig worker, and now she died, so the oil rig workers union doesn't allow females anymore.
Aww.
So we get here, I believe, the same shot of Optimus transforming for the 3rd time in this episode, because I just noticed because Optimus is drawn, he's not very boxy, his boxes look very balloony. He looks like he has window tits almost.
He's getting chubby.
Transition to later. Spike is writing in his diary, in narration here, expositing that, Kristen, all the governments of the world, because they stopped the Decepticons, have agreed to give the Autobots all the energy that they need.
So, here's the thing.
Yes.
They didn't stop the Decepticons.
That is true.
They stole all of those rubies.
That's true.
They stole all of that oil.
Mm-hmm.
They destroyed a dam.
They didn't get any of the energy back.
No. So, really, again, all they stopped was the culmination of the Decepticons' plans, which had nothing to do with Earth, except for the fact that they might have left a dent in a lake.
And Kristen Spike wrote that it's the first time the governments all agreed on anything ever!
They're all on the wrong page, but at least they agree.
The last thing Spike writes in his journal is that he's glad the Decepticons are gone for good and forever and ever. Amen! Fade to underwater, where Megatron just kind of casually is like, I'm getting out of the ship here.
Time to start from square one.
So, Kristen, that's it. That's the end. That's more than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye.
It was interesting to me because there are some things that we'll get into here moving on. I didn't know Mirage had such a big part in this, that he was basically the reason that everybody won.
Uh-huh.
Hound as well, the kind of friendship bond that he has with Spike here is basically dissolved, and that character trait is given to Bumblebee moving forward.
So what was interesting to me watching this is, I guess, based on having, again, seen the 80s movie, I would have just assumed that Hot Rod was a character from the beginning.
Nope.
So...
he shows up in the movie.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's Kristen, all of the characters that are in that movie, Hot Rod, RC, Ultra Magnus, Springer, they all show up for the very first time in the movie.
Oh my god, I did not know that. Oh, I need to talk to Hasbro.
The thing is, there are some other things mixed in there, because you got, like, Perceptor and the Dinobots. They're normal. They were in the cartoon. A lot of the characters in the movie were not.
When do we get to, oh no, the dinosaur robot?
Grimlock?
Grimlock. When does Grimlock happen?
There are 5 dinosaur robots.
When do we get to Grimlock?
This season.
Yes!
I believe the Dinobots are built in the first season.
Meet Grimlock, here to munch metal.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my boy.
Your boy Starscream and your boy Grimlock. And your boy Soundwave.
My boy Soundwave. My new boy
Apparently.
Soundwave. I just like everybody but Optimus and Megatron. Which I think is not what Hasbro was going for.
Wow, Kristen, it sounds almost exactly like Gem.
Yay!
We like everybody except the main characters.
It'll be interesting to see how that continues to develop. God, there's 10,000 characters.
Now is the point in the evening where we'll list off all the fun contact things, where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at cwtapod. You can follow me at Octopus, which is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio, on the YouTube even. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. YouTube, of course, does have our soirees on them, which are great. You can only find them there, so find them there. And
leave us a review because we're back.
Yeah. Go to cwtapod@gmail.com where you can tell us all about if the trunk of a car is its ass, or how to properly overthrow your evil boss.
Yeah, good advice for everyone in the modern day.
Next time, Kristen, we get the return of, I say, a guy who shows up for 2 whole seconds. It's Shockwave.
That guy.
Macromedia Shockwave. And what I assume to be the explanation for how exactly we get the fucking... how we make it easy for things to go from Cybertron and back. Because right now, we kind of need that.
Yeah, I don't have a good lay of the land, really. Let's call it that, as far as how the planets are aligned.
Well, Kristen, to give you an idea of what we're going to be seeing, the episode is called Transport to Oblivion.
Sounds great.
For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next time for some more transforming.
Checks in the mail.